You always have time for what you prioritize. You always have enough money to buy what you need. You do. If you're listening to this, you're the top 1% of the world.
If I'm showing up with genuine curiosity, and it may take some time if you're new to it, your wife's got something to say.
Yeah.
She'll let you know pretty quickly if she does.
If you and your wife are in a bad place, she may not feel safe enough to open up to you.
I see that is kind of a thread in men, is that they don't actually have any real friends. They don't have any real community. They're isolated. They're alone.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the TPM Show. We are once again graced by Christopher Hansen. If you haven't listened to the previous episode, we did a Q&A here where Christopher actually takes in questions that you guys have actually sent in, you, the listeners. And I've asked Chris to stay, and we're going to do some more. Chris, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, Doug.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have to make you stick around.
Here for it.
I love how many questions are coming in from the guys. I'm getting a lot of DMs through all the social channels, and it is impossible for me to get back to everybody. So this is a good way for us to go through them, do our best to get back to every guy, because it's not that we don't think every guy is important, because we do. It's just a matter of time, and you got to eat your own cooking. I've got a family, got young kids. Yeah. I just can't sit at the keyboard all day typing in answers.
For sure. Yeah, I think this is a great way to answer these as well. Cool. So this is from Nathan. Nathan asked, how to help your wife feel listened to instead of interrogated when you're gathering her berries. How do you help her feel supported? There's kind of two questions there.
Yeah, I think they can come into, I think I can tie him in. I think I know what he's trying to say. Yeah. This happens a lot with guys when they're learning the methodologies, especially the triadic connection, as we go into deeper methodologies in the activation method and beyond. So for those that don't know, collecting your berries is basically, it's a story that we use from anthropological times, at least our version of it, where men would go out and hunt, right? So if you're hunting, if you and I are, let me tell a background story for guys that are newer to this concept. I know you used to be a hunter. So if you and I are going out elk hunting, are we going to be talking a lot?
No.
Not at all. Probably gonna use hand signals, maybe a few noises here and there. This is where men get grunting from. Yeah. that kind of deal. What was that show? Tim the Tool Man Taylor.
Yeah. Yep.
The tool man there. So we're hunters, and you and I being more masculine man, naturally that's what we're gonna go do. If you go back to caveman days, right? Same brain. The brain hasn't evolved that much since those times. At least that's what science tells us. Now, women, on the other hand, right, they're more about community. So when they're going out, they have to communicate a lot of information. They're responsible for the children. They're responsible for gathering the food, and so I'll try my best to mix up, but women are going out and they're going to be talking like, hey, go get the berries, but not the berries by the river because there's a snake by the river and he's a really dangerous snake. But go get the berries by the tree, but not the tree with green leaves, the tree with red leaves, but only pick them up around noon because that's when they're the sweetest. But also make sure that the blueberries and not the red berries, because the red berries are poisonous. You can actually die. And also there's a saber-tooth tiger that we saw over here. And they'll keep going on with all of this detail. If you ever listen to men talk, right? So it's, hey, how Chris and his wife doing? Good. That's it, right? Whereas, and you shared some of this on the last episode, if two women are talking, how is Frank doing or Susan doing? They're going to go into a ton of detail. And the detail may not even seem relevant to the point, and that doesn't matter. They want it all, right? We call that a meadow. So at the end of the day, your wife is going out there picking up all these berries of emotions and information, right? She's getting all this data. And as my wife says on the podcast a lot, women are diffused awareness, right? Where you and I might be a little bit more focused on the hunt when we are. Now, men have diffused awareness too, but women are always looking around at what's going on in the room. How is everybody doing? They're noticing and taking in all this information. For a woman to truly be in her feminine, she needs to let go of all that, right? And so this is what it's like downloading. We call it collecting the berries. So at the end of the day, one of the things that we can do as men to help our wives get into their femininity is to, quote, collect the berries. And so that's what this gentleman's talking about. Hey, how do I collect her berries without her feeling like interrogated? And first of all, shout out to him. Nathan, you said?
Yes.
Yeah. Nathan, man, great job for trying, right? You're starting off, right? And anything you start off, you stumble. You just do, right? You got to practice before you get to mastery. So the key here is to be inquisitive and be light. And since my guess, Nathan, is you haven't been doing this, it seems like it's coming out of the blue. And you're trying something new, so it's also going to seem unnatural. So probably I'm going to go with gut here and say what's happening is I'll do an example on Chris. Like, Chris, how was your day?
Good.
What did you do?
Podcast with Doug.
Who what'd you talk about?
This particular topic right here. It feels I think I'm being interrogated.
Exactly. So it's the energy of like questioning versus, hey babe, what was a rose and thorn of your day? Good and high and low.
Yeah.
And then she shares or doesn't share. So if Chris, sorry, I called you babe in this example, but hey,
Appreciate it.
You're a sexy man. In this example, if you say, I don't know, I might just leave it alone if this is my first time doing it, right? Walk away. Let her just get used to me asking inquisitive questions, or I might eventually I'm going to learn more. Like, hey, I noticed you're reading that book, Grind, Hustle, Success, making it up again. I've seen that book before. Is it good?
Yeah.
But do you see how I'm just curious?
Yep.
And I'm not going to ask, if you don't respond, I'm not going to ask 30 curious questions. You might even start with a yes, no question, right? So in sales, you learn these things, right? Or you can ask an open-ended question. Again, an open-ended question could be a dialogue. Your wife comes back, she's tired, you go, phew, what a long day. I was just thinking about this today, Chris. If we could go anywhere in the world, just anywhere, where would you want to go?
Yeah.
And now it gets creative, right? You're going through. So this isn't as much berry collection, but you're coming into a creative space and letting her download, which may come up with something else.
Yeah.
A question I ask my wife a lot. So I share this on the podcast, but as you know, Chris, because you and I will work out in my garage occasionally. And I have a home gym that I set up mainly for my wife and 3 other moms that are in the area that they all hang out with. And so I'll tell my wife, so what's the latest gossip with the ladies these days, right? Just very casual, very no big deal. And then she could either go, everybody's doing good. Then I just know she's spent, right? There's no need. I don't press her. Like, really? Well, what did so-and-so say? Or really, what's her husband doing?
Yeah.
I don't, because that becomes interrogation. And sometimes she'll go off and she'll just be like, oh my goodness, like last night, their kids were up all night long. One kid was tossing and turning, kick them in the bed, doing that, I go, isn't that the worst, man? I'm like, when the kids come in the bed, I get kicked in the nuts like 8 times a night. Like, it's like I gotta wear a cup. Yeah. And my wife will laugh kind of like you are. And then she'll continue. Yeah. And the key is, guys, what you can do is the same thing with sales. What else? But not like, what else? Like that's a very masculine, energetic, attacking, interrogating energy.
Yeah.
But if I'm casually, like you're telling me about the concert that you and your wife went to, I didn't do this, but I could go, oh, bro, that's awesome, man. What else? And then it's natural for people to keep talking. And you could say it in different ways.
Yeah. Eventually
you're going to get to the end. So if I say, what else, you get to the end, you say,
yeah, no, that's it.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
And that's all you say. Yeah. It's a natural ending. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Right? Or you can say, I got to the end. What I'm doing right now is a sales technique.
Yeah.
Right? But sales techniques, in my opinion, a good salesperson just listens. And then if they have the solution to the problem, and only then do they present the solution to the problem. Otherwise, they're just curious people.
Yep.
Right? It doesn't really have technique. It's just general curiosity and human psychology.
Yeah, I think genuine curiosity.
Yes.
Thank you. I think just being truly inquisitive and wanting to know what's happening in your wife's day.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, if she comes at you or if you come to her and she's short with you and doesn't feel like she really has space or wants to share, yeah, I definitely don't go down the road of pushing it. But in my experience, typically, if I'm showing up with genuine curiosity, and it may take some time if you're new to it, your wife's got something to say.
Yeah.
She'll let you know pretty quickly if she does.
Yeah, and I think also to your point, I love that. So the genuine curiosity, she may not have something to say the first time, and maybe not the fifth time. Try different techniques. A lot of guys copy verbatim what we say, thinking it's going to help them, and it usually does. But so the hidden motives technique, I use the example, I imagine a lot. I'd imagine that would be bad. And some guys repeat it like it's on an index card rather than changing up the word I imagine or, when I think about that, or just changing up the verbiage. It's the same thing with the curiosity. So if you and your wife are in a bad place, she may not feel safe enough to open up to you.
Yeah.
So you have to have that underlying safety as as a fundamental. Then on top of that safety, then comes the curiosity. Now you can lead with curiosity as long as you're willing to walk away if she doesn't respond. And that might start to provide safety, right? She might start to go, okay, he's been interested in me, a few more times. And if you haven't been in her mind interested in her for years, this is going to come across as very suspicious.
Yeah.
And if the trust is eroded in the relationship, that suspicion can turn into feeling like interrogated or feeling like you don't trust her, or she might think there's another woman. Like why has Chris changed? Or in this case, Nathan changed.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah.
And you might say, I might come across Chris, I might go, you know what? I realize that we don't have time to really share our days with each other. And that's something I'd really like to do. I mean, when we first got married, we were always talking about our dreams, our goals, our lives together. And just over time with kids and everything else, we kind of got into a rut. And it would be crazy for me to think that you're the exact same woman I married 10 years ago, like you haven't had new desires or new experiences in your life, right? Yeah. And so it's a leading question, right? And then go into I guess I'm just curious, truly curious, like day to day, if you were to rate your day to your life on a scale of 1 to 10, what would it be? Mm. And if you guys are in a bad place, she might go, it's a effing 1 because you don't do this, this, and this. And this is your chance to handle the safety test.
Yeah.
That'll wait right there. If I hear that, that would tells me that woman does not feel safe in that relationship. She does not feel seen and heard. And we got a long way to go. But if you love her, you're in it for the long haul. Just start doing these steps now. And you can combine like, you know what? We haven't done this in a long time. And I'll take ownership for my part in that. And I want that to change because I love you and I want our marriage to be a 10 out of 10. I want both of us to come back and say our day is at least an 8 on average, right? Some days it's going to be a 5 or a 6. Some days it's going to be a 10, but an average 8. And if you're saying 2, regardless if it's me or something else, then I want to help move the needle to change it. Because right now I'm at a 5 and I don't want to be a 5. I listen to this guy. He says, you deserve more than average all the time. I'm getting tired of him saying that because what we got's average.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I mean, I love the approach and encourage any man to be having those conversations with their wife.
Yeah,
for sure. That's a good question.
Yeah. I got asked recently a question and I call it the new car smell was wearing off. So a gentleman went to the Alpha Reset. He's 9 months post Alpha Reset, changed his life, right? We hear that all the time, but changed his life. And he shared that with me. And he said, hey, look, it's 9 months post Alpha Reset. I'm in the brotherhood. What do I do to make sure he's not in the brotherhood. What do I do to make sure I don't backslide? First and foremost, stay in the conversation with other men, right? That's what I told him. I go, get into the app. Don't just be a voyeur, post. There's 2 reasons, Chris, that men stop showing up in the community. In my experience, there's 2 reasons. 1, things are going so well. Man, divorce was on the table or the marriage sucked, and now intimacy is regular. My wife and I are the power couple, what we've always wanted to be. Thank you, TPM, and goodbye, right? Because things are great. Then what happens, and because you and I and the rest of the coaches and advisors, client success, we get all the messages from the guys months later. They stop doing their routines, their alpha rise and shine, their alpha decompression, because things are good. Why should I do it anymore? Yep. They stop communicating with other guys in the app. They get out of the conversation. That's akin to, I took Spanish for 5 years, but I stopped using it. Man, I can order a beer and that's about it, right? Yeah. And I've lost almost all of it because I stopped using it. I got out of the conversation.
Yeah.
The second reason that guys vanish from the community is because something dramatic happens and they feel shame. They're too shameful about it. I've seen this happen with guys like, oh, I just feel shameful. And then they, what we call lone wolf it, they go alone.
Yeah.
And so those are the two reasons to be out of the conversation.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. And for anybody that has, I tell everybody this when I talk to them on the phone, anybody that calls in, anybody that I have a conversation with, like once you're part of TPM, you're part of TPM.
Yeah.
Like you're here, like you're in it. It's not something we strip away from you at any point.
No.
And the community aspect of this program to me is where the gold is at.
I agree.
Like we have tools and we teach and we coach and like all that stuff is fantastic, but it's the men that are in the community where the true gold is the thing that makes this just the beautiful thing that it is.
Hey guys, I just want to share something with you. I'm sure we can both agree that in order to fix something, you need to know what's broken. And not only need to know what's broken, but a step-by-step methodology on how you can fix it. That's the easiest way to do it, right? Otherwise, you're going to be toiling with things. That's why I created a free training, a training that not only shows you how you got to where you are, where your relationship is missing that love, respect, admiration, and even intimacy that it used to have, to how you get it back. How do you retain that where your wife's looking at you the same way she used to look at you when she said, I do? I don't know about you, but for me, when my wife looks at me like I'm her man, that I feel like I can conquer the world. And I want that for you. Simply go over to thepowerfulman.com/scales. That's thepowerfulman.com/scales. And I have a free video training for you. You can just click play and see if this resonates for you. Now back to the podcast.
That opportunity is there for anybody to come in and engage, even if you haven't gone through the activation method. I mean, we've opened up the app at this point where men can come in and ask questions and be part of some of the discussions in there. And I think just so many men in general are missing community. One of the other questions that was asked here, I don't know if we want to dive into this one, we could, is most of the men that I know in my life, and it's not me saying this, I don't remember the name of the guy that posted it, but I can look at it real quick. It was Anthony saying, I don't have any friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that is kind of a thread in men, is that they don't actually have any real friends.
Yep.
They don't have any real community. They're isolated. They're alone.
Yeah. So let me finish that other thought, and I'll come back to that one about this guy that was worried about slipping. So stay in the community, attend events. This is going to dovetail right into what Anthony's saying. Like, attend events, make it happen, man. None of us have enough time. None of us have enough money. Like, everybody wants more time and more money. Like, those are the two biggest excuses I hear, and they're valid to some degree. You always have time for what you prioritize. You always have enough money to buy what you need. You do. If you're listening to this, you're the top 1% of the world, right? You have availability, and I can see people shaking their heads virtually. It just you figured out ways to make things happen. But go to an event, right? If it's not a TPM event, go to a different event. Like, we have guys that are in the app that are, one of the reasons we have the app, one of the things we put in is you can see guys near you. Yep. Go get a coffee or a beer with a guy, right? The thing that separates men in the TPM community from others is these are men, they're family men first and foremost, right? So you have a shared commonality there. And they're men that are trying to better themselves for themselves and their families. You have a shared structured value system right there. Jerks don't do that, right? We don't have jerks within TPM. People ask me all that all the time. Like, how did you have a community of over 1,000 men and there's not one asshole? Yeah. Like, because assholes just don't try to better themselves. We're all jerks at some point in time, but they're not jerks as an identity, right? They're not guys that are consistently a jerk. Yeah. And the community would flush them out, right? Especially as you go into the private communities like the brotherhood or the inner circle, where men are investing more money and more time into their growth. Those guys will call you out for your BS, right? Definitely. Like the Legends event we were just at, like they play that game. And TPM is the community. And I think the coaching's world class. I'm biased. We try to get the best coaches we possibly can find. And those coaches facilitate the community. Just I agree with you. The brotherhood, if you will, not to confuse it with the program, the brotherhood, but the brotherhood that's in there is where the gold is at 100%. And us as coaches, we facilitate more growth, more commonality, more shared experiences with the men so they can continue to grow. And then also what I would say to somebody that's worried about slipping in this is, again, set up times, meetups or other things or other community events. Reach out to Lee Jack, who is the head of our client success team, and let them know that you want to set up a group for, this is one that came up with dads with autism, right? Build the clubhouse within the app. We have the ability and we're letting men do these kinds of things. We need some representation in there because, we have to make sure that everything's copacetic and we can help men set these kinds of things up. And this is where the friends things come in. A lot of men don't have friends, new friends, right? We have the remember when friends, like guys we knew in high school, those guys that you still talk about the old experiences rather than having new ones together. Having new ones is because guys have been burnt and trust is an issue. And most of the guys coming to us have been a nice guy for so long, and I talk about this in the book, they'll give their shirt off the back to someone only to find out that person's got a pile of 10,000 shirts and has no intention of reciprocating. There's a scam artist or what have you. Find friends with commonalities. Right away within the TPM app, you have men, first of all, they're men. They are married or were married at one time. Most everybody there has kids, so they're family men. Let's just call them that. So you have that commonality. They're trying to better themselves. We have two separate groups, right? Everybody can meet up in the general, but we have a group specifically only for business owners and C-suite executives. That's what we've been doing for the last 8 years or so. But recently we opened up Navigate. Now, Navigate is for employees, if you will, right? So people that just haven't started a business. I think the business owners, they're the crazy ones, in my opinion. I know because I'm one of them. I'm just not hireable. You can't. You wouldn't want to hire me.
Unmanageable person.
Unmanageable. Totally. That's business guys. Come on. So we have those two verticals, right? And they can cross over, right? And talk and have conversations. It's not one's better than the other. It's just different, right? I can never clock out, right? At 8 p.m., I'm still on the clock. At 2 a.m. when I wake up, I'm still on the clock 24/7. That's just a business owner's lifestyle. So you have those two verticals. You can look into Navigate, right, which is our other program just for employees, or you can go talk in the general channel. Heck, the book that we wrote, which outlines our program, we try to get out to more men. There is a group just for that book. We even have a group within the TPM app that's just jokes. It's us guys, I'm one of them, acting like 14-year-olds. Memes and jokes and, the stuff that every guy laughs at for the most part. We're just a little bit more open to sharing our dark senses of humor or what have you. But if that's not your cup of tea, there's also the Powerful Christian Man. It's also another group that we have. What I would encourage him to do is, first and foremost, in this day and age, geography is no longer an issue. Tim Matthews and I, the co-founder of TPM, Tim actually founded TPM. He and I became great friends without ever meeting, right? We talked on Zoom. We talked on the phone. We had common interests, personal and business development. And that's how we became partners within TPM. I was coaching with my own coaching company before that, and I decided to come on board with TPM later because we became such great friends. Now, he is in the UK and I was in Bend, Oregon. Huge time zone difference, 8 hours, right? Huge geographical distance. I don't even know what the mileage is there, but it's a lot. I'm on the west coast of the US. He's in the UK. So saying there's nobody I know in my city, that's just BS. Now, there may not be, and I think meeting in person is better than online. And that's why we have events like the Legends event. And I was just talking to Phil Madden, who runs our events, and we're anticipating 2 to 3 events a month coming up. So they're giving guys tons of opportunity to connect in person, to meet other people. And as you do that, start spreading the knowledge, right? Spread the TPM way. Invite a buddy to go for a hike, go for a ruck, get a beer, whatever it is, and then ask genuine and sincere questions like, hey, how are things going with the kids, man? How are things going at work? How are things going with the wife? And don't settle for yeah, everything's good when you know it's not.
Yep.
Like, call them out. And when you're sincere, guys will start opening up to you, especially on a one-on-one environment.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, I look at TPM as almost reparenting for men. We build leaders.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we build leaders, and the intention there, at least from my lens, is that those men go out and they lead other men.
Yeah.
And that's how we change the world. Not to be too corny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's our goal, man.
Yeah.
Save the children by saving their fathers first.
100%.
And part of that's by having friends. Part of that is doing the hidden motives technique, learning the triadic connection. For men that are coming through our program where their marriage isn't their worst thing, if you will, we have the Ascension Blueprint, which that was our flagship program back in the day. A lot of men have come through that. And people don't realize that we have those 2 entry points because we talk so much about relationships on here.
Yeah.
The reason we started working on relationships is we realized that was the number one hair on fire problem our guys were having, right? What their businesses were okay, but as soon as we started helping them with the activation method in their relationships, their businesses scaled, right?
Yeah.
Because when your marriage isn't going well, it's the only thing you focus on, and you lose the business part. With the Ascension Blueprint, as you know, Chris, we focus on the area of self. Those are for guys that just, I'm just a little stuck. There's got to be something more to life. And that program handles that question.
Yep.
And some guys go through both programs. That's great. So they have options, but you're going to meet guys with commonalities. And as I say, like our big events, we do 2 big events a year. And those events, now you've got 40, 50 guys that are great, fun guys that can have conversations that matter, deep conversations. And they can also talk about sports or whatever else. And we have an epic time. So the Brotherhood event, what it's about is epic growth, epic adventure with epic men.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. And to see the connection that's built in those guys is, I mean, it's really special. I mean, it's just special to see how guys from all over the world are coming together. And you're right, location is not an issue. Like you jump in some of those chat threads and some of the threads on the app and just see the conversations that happen there. It's a beautiful thing.
I mean, look at it right now as we're recording this in the studio at the main house at the TPM Ranch. So those that don't know, we have a 106-acre ranch here. The King of Cheese is here with his family from the UK. So his nickname's the King of Cheese. He lives in the UK. This place is so special. This movement has become so special to him that for his vacation, he flew his family out here to be at the ranch. I had the honor, you just had the honor of meeting his beautiful family, 2 beautiful kids, amazing wife. I was at the lake with them with my family just yesterday. So to say, I've heard this excuse so many times, and it kind of irritates me at this point, to be honest. And I'm not irritated at the person. I'm just like, hey, I got a guy from the UK who I met through TPM, and his family flew out here for vacation. And his family and my family just enjoyed an amazing day at the lake together. And he lives in the UK. I live in Central Oregon.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. And it was absolutely great to meet him and his family. And yeah, I just want to thank you again for doing this, man.
Yeah.
You've built something beautiful.
Thanks, bud. I love this. I love what we're doing. I love the movement. I love the men. And we're making the world a better place, or at least sure as heck trying our best.
Yeah. 100%.
Gentlemen, as I always say, in the moment of insight, take massive action. Guys, if you're finding yourself, whether it be collecting berries for this question or the other one about friends, it's here for you, right? Use the community to do so. If something's missing in the community, let us know. We're doing our best. We're people. We're guys, right? I'm having a barbecue later. So we're real guys, but we happen to figure a few things out along the way. And we want to make this the best community for you guys as well. And of course, keep your questions coming. I love answering these questions from you guys. It's really enjoyable. I don't know the questions before Chris starts reading them, so it's on the fly, but hopefully you're getting some good information. Love to hear your feedback. And if you got a moment, guys, drop us a review. We've done over 1,000 episodes, but The reviews are just one more way another man, another guy that's out there searching can help find us, right? He doesn't have to pay for it. We're doing all this for free. And yeah, it's great for marketing. It's great for all of this, that, and the other. But we're doing it because we want to get the information out there. And if you could do me a solid, take 2 minutes and write a review or forward this to a friend, I would greatly appreciate it. We'll see you next time on the TPM show.